Welcome to our garden here in Zone 6A, upstate New York. It is mid-October and we are walking with you through the garden today to talk about our fall to-do list, projects that are coming up, things that are still looking beautiful, and things that are not looking so hot, like this coleus right here.
Oh yeah, we had our first frost a few days ago, and wow, that coleus has given up.
So first thing on the list is going to be pulling annuals from the garden. It can be hard, especially when some of them are looking beautiful still, like this Augusta lavender heliotrope, but they're just not gonna make it through the winter, so it's best to clean them up in the fall. You know what annual surprising me that still looks good after this first frost is our Rockin Playin the blue Salvia. Now it is hardy to zone 7, and every fall I'm tempted to leave it in the ground just to see if it makes it over, because we're zone 6A.
You know, if we had actually a really snow-covered winter, I wonder if it would insulate it enough that it would come back.
And I have left them in ground here and in another spot that we have them in our garden, and they've never reemerged. So they get pretty heavy root balls on them too, so I think I use that as an excuse to not have to pull the root balls out.
Oh yeah, this spring when we were planting, there were a couple times where I'm like, wait a second, what is this root? Oh wait, it's a plant from last year.
Christopher, what is this sedum?
That is a Rockin round Pride and Joy sedum.
It's split a little bit. I wonder if I got too much water this season, or maybe we just need to like Chelsea chop it next year.
I think we're gonna Chelsea chop all of our sedums because actually, let me just zip over here. Look at our autumn joy. The color is joyful, but the plant is far from joyful. So Chelsea chopping we will be doing.
All these annuals are coming out. This Super Peanut Pink Cashmere took over that container. I would not plant that again in that container.
No, honestly, 2 plants filled the entire container fully. Too much.
Yes. One of the most wonderful things about fall here in upstate New York is it's a whole nother rose season. Just like June, the garden is filled with roses. In fall, we get lots of last end of the season blooms, and Lark Ascending is no exception. All of our hydrangeas are going to get deadheaded this fall. I know a lot of people like to leave theirs up for winter interest, but what happens in our climate is we get tremendously wet, heavy snowstorms. And that snow is going to accumulate on these blooms, which it has in the past. This is how we know. You learn from experience as a gardener. And it weighs the branches down and it presses them to the ground and either snaps them and breaks them, or they harden off that way facing downward in the spring. So we'll just go through and lightly deadhead all of the hydrangeas this fall. And then next spring, we'll go in and do the proper pruning. Now the big leaf ones, we won't do anything to because we're not gonna risk it. Giant grasses like this grass are gonna come to the ground in the fall because again, that heavy snow that we get is just gonna make it flop. Lemony lace elderberry looking beautiful right now. Now, Christopher, talk about your castor bean here, because I do see some frost damage.
There's some frost damage on it. I know this is hardy and gets gigantic in some climates, but what I've been waiting on are these really cool, they look like, I don't know, they're like spiky beads. Inside there are a couple seeds each. So I'm waiting until they start to look kind of dried. I'm hoping, I've already cut some and put them in a paper bag to dry out more. That's how I'm gonna collect seeds. And if that doesn't work, I'll have to order some, but this will have to get pulled along with all our annuals.
It will, and castor beans are toxic, so when you handle them, you will wanna wear gloves and things like that. Believe it or not, this entire section back here basically goes to the ground. It's all perennials, and it has an amazing transformation. I think what's so cool about October is that the garden has as much of a transformation as it does back in May. Those are really our bookend months for our growing season. May, our final frost date is the 2nd week of May, and our first average frost date is the 1st week of October. So big changes are coming over the next few weeks. I have noticed, Christopher, look, we did not get enough water to this poor little icebreaker Korean fir this season.
Oh yeah, that poor little guy did not stand a chance.
I don't think it'll even rebound at this point.
No, that's
if it did, it would
gone.
take forever.
But can we just take a peek at the winter red winterberry? I don't know if you can see it way back there, but it is covered in beautiful red berries.
that we will leave up and the birds will eat all of those. But yeah, believe it or not, all of this stuff goes to the ground. Christopher, what do you think we should do with the lavender? So we struggle with lavender because we are so moist here. Lavender likes it dry. It likes really good drainage. Some people plant it in sand. They plant it with like rocks at the bottom. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I think we need to leave this over winter and let it kind of be its own mulch and then cut it back as hard as we can in spring and really keep our fingers crossed. I'm really hopeful that it comes back, but I think we leave it and let it be its own mulch for the season.
So come on this way, Christopher. I wanted to show you some of our drip that we've left unburied for now. Eventually this will all get buried in the spring, but next on our list would be to unhook the drip from our irrigation system on the house. And we'll leave the drip because there's enough holes in it for water to just, seep out as it freezes and thaws.
Yeah, and I bring the timers in. That's the only piece of equipment we bring inside.
Yeah, the battery operated timers would have to come inside, and so would the little filtration system stuff, because if water gets stuck in there and expand and contract, that's something that we'll have to take care of. But the drip irrigation will stay all throughout the garden. We'll leave it alone. Most of it's buried. This was just newly placed, so it's still showing right now. Lawn irrigation, the stuff in ground, that gets blown out by professionals because that doesn't have a way to escape. So that would, freeze and pop off.
We're not expecting to have really intense fall color this year. After 6 weeks of drought, a lot of the trees are just kind of dropping leaves and saying we're out of here for the season. Since our Tupelo tree is on drip, I am starting to see a little bit of color in here. This tree gets fiery red, which I'm very excited about. Also fiery red is going to be the Snowfire Aronia. This is one of those native cultivars that everybody needs to get in the garden. It's low-scape Snowfire Aronia. It has this nice upright habit, green glossy leaves, bright white flowers, dark black berries, and then it really looks like it's on fire. It's so bright.
And the birds already ate all the berries.
Oh yeah, they're completely gone. We also have the Midnight Sun Lygelia down here starting to turn color. So for anybody who thinks we don't have red in the garden, we do. It just comes at the end of the season. And then the third thing on our to-do list is going to be trimming roses, or at least deadheading, for really the same reason as some of our other plants. But you can see this whole cane that really has taken wing here. This is going to get crushed right down to the ground. So I will take the roses down. If this is super upright, I might not touch this, but horizontal branches, I'll probably cut so that I know that they're strong enough not to get bent and broken. And then in the springtime, once I see what the winter dieback looks like, then I can go in there and do an official pruning, as well as the clematis. Stillwater's in there as a type 2, but I do cut that back to about 18 inches. And then our other clematis are all type 3 in the garden, and those will also get cut back pretty hard.
Christopher, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, you were going to say something about this.
I was going to say, what do you think of this plant?
So right here, we have Tradescantia. This is called Webmaster. It was beautiful at the beginning of the season. This is the kind of plant that you really have to let it be beautiful and then cut it to the ground to let it reflush. We're not sure if this is the perfect plant for this spot, so we will be pulling it and making room for, I don't know, maybe hydrangeas or roses sometime next year with a nice low perennial in front.
I just remembered, Christopher, we have 6 brand new David Austin roses coming next year, they told us.
Yeah, because I remember at some point last year, you said we had too many pink roses, and I think you just ordered at least 3 more pink roses.
That's true. But we also have brand new hydrangea varieties from Proven Winners coming for next year. So
yeah, we're going to have, we need the space.
We don't have the room for things that we don't absolutely love.
That's a good way to put it. The Verbena bonariensis that we have throughout the garden, this can stay up pretty long. It looks good, pretty long into the fall season, but depending on our efforts, we'll pull it and just dump it. But the seeds, they've already been scattering. I just scattered probably 500 seeds just now, so expect lots of weeding to happen right there over next year. We're gonna make a decision over here about that Tickle Creek birch, Eric.
Is the Tickle, so the Tickle Creek was buried in those annuals, and now it's been uncovered, and the parts that were buried, ooh, there goes a mouse. Ugh, I'm like after the mice. Anyway, so, but the part that was buried got defoliated, but now I think,
It's pushing growth.
is it pushing growth into the fall because now it's getting light? I think that's what's happening.
I think we should leave it there and we should encourage it to get a little taller, even if we need to stake it gently so that it sits above whatever the other textures are.
Yes, and now we know an annual that's not this tall there.
This is true. This is also a good time for us to decide on annuals that we loved and some we didn't love. I know that Agasaki or hyssop is a garden favorite. It's beautiful. I love it. I want to love it more, but I don't think we're going to grow this again because it's just not going to thrive. We're a little bit too wet for it.
That's true. I mean, I like the color though. It's kind of like a pink version of catmint for us.
Yeah, this was that Maestro Coral, I think it was called. I thought it was really nice.
Christopher, can I just interrupt you again? It seems to be my theme today. And look at the Earth Angel Rose.
That's a really pretty rose. It's Perfuma Earth Angel, so it is supposed to smell beautiful too.
Look at that little bee getting in there.
Also, I think that rose would probably also thrive if it wasn't completely buried in that annual as well.
Yeah, we overdid the annuals in this area.
We did.
Lesson learned.
And also, take a look at this. We have a lovely Litchfield urn, and we had planted some of that same sedum that had split in them and put the really cool orbs on them. I want to do the tater tot version. Look at how cute that tater tot is over there, Eric. And this year we had all of the super bells around it. I have this idea, since we have 5 of them now in total. We put all of them with a tater tot with a different color super bell that's on our theme. So there's just these little monocultures of beautiful color with a tater tot in the Litchfield urns.
I think the tater tot is nice.
It's really cute. If you look back there, Eric, you can see all very unhappy Arctic fire dogwoods. You can see their red stems.
Those were not on drip this year, and they were planted in the lowest part of our garden, thinking that we'd have rain all season and they would just be swimming in happiness, and they just didn't get the rain. So I hope they make it.
There was no happiness for them at all. I think they're going to be okay. We have had a couple good rains, so they're getting saturated now. So hopefully that rain will tuck them in nicely. Look how cute this is, Eric. Get up close there. The little kale, the incredible genetics pansies, which have really come into their own. I think they're very pretty.
I love them. I think they're great. And I really like the aster as the centerpiece. And of course, I love the orb, for sure. Now, there are a lot of annuals in this bed, Christopher.
There's a ton of annuals. There's also perennials that'll fill more, but I think the butterfly bushes, we'll see what happens. In our zone, butterfly bushes sometimes die fully to the ground, sometimes they die halfway to the ground, and sometimes they just die. But we'll see. We will see what happens with these. I love the Pugster blue color, and I'm hoping they're going to come back and be full and lovely.
I think they should, because butterfly bushes do well when planted in the spring, and that is when we planted them.
That's true. So all of these annuals will come out, and it's going to be it's going to look kind of bare at first. We have the lovely orange dwarf Nordman fir, which will probably be happy for the breather.
Yes, for sure.
And the castor beans, those are easy to get a hold of, the Impala castor bean seeds. I'm not saving any of those. And frankly, I like the purple one too much.
I like the purple way better. Now, Christopher, speaking of purple, your least favorite annual in the garden has bit the dust.
Goodbye, compact purple sun patience. Now, I have to say, this is an incredible performer. I am a sun patient convert. I think they're wonderful. I just didn't like this color. It didn't work for me in this application. I think there's other applications they would have been perfect for. So maybe we'll do them again, but in a different color. I was recently looking up all the different colors of the compact version of them. There's some really pretty ones.
I bet there are.
There's a rose that's really nice. And then you can see no color yet on the Japanese maple at the top of the waterfall. A little bit of something's happening on Ice Dragon, the other Japanese maple that we have, but those 2 anchor points will be staying. Some activity in the back, we're going to be cleaning up and adding a different monoculture hedge of hydrangea.
Yes, one of the things we learned when playing with this area is Simpler.
Yeah, we're gonna go simple. We kind of threw everything at it. We tried different annuals on the edge. We tried some other sun patients, some in the water plants, and ultimately it's a little busy. It's beautiful, but it's a little busy.
Yes. Look at that. Oh, look, the sweet potato vine got nipped.
Yep, that sweet potato vine, that'll come out. There's actually another waterfall right there, if you don't remember.
Oh, yeah,
that?
it is covering a waterfall.
So there's another waterfall there. And then you can see our very successful drift of Mini Vista Indigo. This Supertunia performed its head off. It is no longer performing its head off, so this will be coming out, of course. But it really has left me with this question, Eric. What are we gonna do next year?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I love Supertunia Mini Vistas for in-ground planting much better than Supertunia Vistas.
That's for sure. I like the habit. This was very tidy. It was easy for us to do the edging and it didn't get in the pond. So I guess I would say I like the idea of wrapping the edge. But what do we do it with next year?
I don't know. I mean, that's what winter's for, to daydream.
That's it. And also, can I just point out that the ice dragon put this branch out?
Yeah,
This
crazy.
is a pretty fast growing Japanese maple. I'm impressed with it.
I am too. That's gonna be getting some pruning. Not right now, but
not right now. So I guess that would kind of be to-do list item. Are we on 4? Would be to start daydreaming.
Daydreaming.
And also, you know what you had mentioned earlier that I forgot about is looking at what plants here didn't survive a frost is going to help you next spring know what you can put out before your final frost date.
That's true. What's really interesting is I'm looking at these tough stuff ahas and seeing the foliage that succumbed to the frost. And I find that so strange.
That is interesting. Some of our other mountain hydrangeas just kind of darkened, but these did have a little singe on them.
Yeah, that is strange. And so that makes me worried for their buds that are going to overwinter.
Huh. Well, we'll keep an eye on those. And then in this section where we just put that new tree, there's some coleus, some annuals to come out, but everything in here in this front area stays. So that's nice. This is a nice, easy area to put to bed for winter.
Come this way, Christopher. Look at our little lime punches. They got the frost.
They got the frost.
So if we left this would just desiccate and blow away over the winter and cause a mess. Or it would bring them down. So that's why we're just gonna deadhead them. So easy. Come on this way. Elevated beds all have to get cleaned out. Look, tomatoes done.
This terrible
carrot. We still haven't harvested any carrots.
Let's see.
Oh, I think we're getting past.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting past for sure at this. Oh, that one doesn't look bad.
That's pretty good.
What kind? These are like the little short French ones, right?
They were called, oh no, they weren't French. It was Italian. It was Fiori de something.
Okay.
They were something.
So all of this stuff will come out. We'll leave everything out just uncovered. We don't have anywhere to put this stuff. But what will stay in are these blueberry shrubs. The strawberries will stay in. This plectranthus will come out. You can see it's been nipped by frost. Before that frost came though, Christopher, I went through and broke off branches and I brought them inside in a vase. And they are holding very nicely in a vase. So it is a highly fragrant foliage accent.
Love that.
If you like something like that.
Cerveza and Lime is the name of it.
And then check these out. Our Fairy Trail Bride or Fairy Trail Green hydrangeas. You can see they've got some buds on them for next year. They're hardy down to zone 6. We're 6A. These are going to go in the garage for the winter. I think maybe the whole thing, we'll just put it on the dolly and bring it in.
I think that'll be easy. They're attached to drip, but drip is easy to replace.
Yes, all of this will get pulled here. Things like this, you'll see throughout the garden, all of our grasses will go. This is a purple fountain grass, which is an annual for us. So that'll just die to the ground anyway. All perennials will go. Annuals like this will get pulled out. We leave all of our furniture out over the winter. We usually cover it. Last year we forgot. and it survived just fine. So I don't think we'll have to do anything about that.
Yeah, I think we're just leaving it out. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
Hollywood. It's designed for the weather.
Yeah, so come on this way, Christopher. The fountains will get blown out. We'll get all the water out. We'll take them apart, take the pumps out, and then we'll cover them up. Like Christopher said, the roses are going to get cut back enough so that snow doesn't damage them, but not get cut back to the point they're going to get cut back in the spring. These, same thing. We're gonna take what's that? A hedge trimmer, and just 18 inches from the ground, go right across and dispose of that. Now, normally we would cut back the clematis on these on this trellis or arbor to get it out of the way and clean it up. But I'm thinking that we should leave it up this winter to act as insulation and protection for the canes of the rose that are going up the sides. Because last winter we had such terrible winter winds that it desiccated so many of our generous gardener rose canes. And that maybe leaving this up, even though it'll be like dry and brown and ugly, it'll still protect them. What do you think, Christopher?
I think that's a good idea. And I'm also going to tie in some of these rogue branches. The problem with having a really giant arbor is you got to bring a ladder out to do that. And who has the ladder on hand?
I know, we got to lug it out. So come on this way, Christopher. The boxwoods that we planted last month, we're gonna have to really keep well watered heading into the winter. If you're planting a broadleaf evergreen like a boxwood this fall, keep it really well watered going into the winter, because you know, it's just gonna transpire so much that you don't want it to dry out over the winter. And again, just like the sublime hedge, this will all get cut 18 inches down because we don't want massive floppage and breaking and stuff like that. So you'll see all of our arborescens and all of our panicles dead-headed. Big leaf ones, like the Let's Dance Skyview, we're just gonna leave alone because we don't wanna risk it. Christopher, look at this coleus.
Torchlight coleus was torched.
It sure was.
That's
Jeez Louise.
incredible.
The other thing that is on our list to do this fall is to cut back our hostas before they get any worse. You can see the frost damage that happens. But once it really freezes, they get slimy and gross and just become this like ugh on the ground. So I'd rather cut them back and clean them out before that happens.
And that's one of those times where you want to cut them back in the fall anyway, even if you were worried about overwintering any kind of bug stuff, because they're going to overwinter yucky stuff too.
Yeah, that's a great point. So what we do, am I in terrible light right now?
It's kind of terrible, but
Okay,
it's mostly...
I can move.
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good. I'm in terrible light.
So we do a lot of our cleanup in the fall, and some people will say, don't do it till the spring because you want to leave that habitat for things to overwinter in. That is totally true. You will overwinter tons of good little things in your garden, but you'll also overwinter tons of bad little things in your garden. And we have such a large garden, we don't want to risk that. And you gotta, do your cutbacks when it's good for you. So if you want to wait till the spring, wait till the spring. If you want to do it in the fall, do it in the fall. If you want to do a little bit of both, do a little bit of both, because that's kind of what we do. We do it when we can. Lime Ricky, looking beautiful. Again, another great hydrangea that doesn't lose its color. Look at your poor surefire rose begonias, Christopher.
I am sad to see them go, but I've been telling people for the last week how I was so excited for the first frost. I think I'm one of these weirdo gardeners. I like the change. I like the gardening. I want this all to die. I want to cut it to the ground and I want to start fresh.
Now we do have some transplanting left to do yet, if you can believe it. Look in here, Christopher. Look at this poor little sprinter boxwood.
Yeah, that's pretty lonely back there.
I want to switch this sprinter boxwood with these Delft blue geraniums so that the sprinter boxwood is up front and then the Delft blue is like growing up and over them.
I think that would be really fun. And everybody has heard I don't really care for that geranium. So I'm interested to see if the shrub and rose that they would have to push through just smother them.
Oh, you'd probably like that, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't mind.
And just like we say, every time we show you teasing Georgia, we need to tie it up and we need to take care of it better than we do. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this spring, Christopher, when we first came out and all of our roses had been eaten to the ground by rabbits, or like
decimated,
and they were just like But they came back in a vengeance this year. Like, I really think they enjoyed that super hard prune.
They did, but you know what? That brings us to another point that's very important is we wrapped all of our roses, and that's on the to-do list to double check. Our little wire cages, that's just black chicken wire that I pick up online at a big box store to protect from those rabbits getting them. So that's another thing on the to-do list is to make sure we get them wrapped.
Now here's our least favorite thing on the to-do list. I was out mowing the lawn earlier today and I saw the first of it. Look at this. The deer.
Oh.
So we
No.
have in our backyard yard enforcers, which is a motion heat activated sprinkler system that when deer walk by it, it goes off and they run away, and it works magnificently. We do not have that up here. We also cannot use it in the winter because the hose line would freeze and it would break. So on our to-do list is to start spraying for deer.
Though that is deer too, right? Because don't rabbits cut and deer tear?
Yeah, so you can tell the difference because it'll be nice and neat and at a 45-degree angle if it's a rabbit. And if it's a deer, it'll just look like somebody tore it because they don't have sharp teeth. So they just chomp on it and tear.
They went after one of our prize sky views, so they're in deep.
So good news is Skyview is a continuous bloomer, so there will be no issue there. So all of these ageratums will come out. This is artist blue floss flower, one of our most asked about plants in the garden whenever we show the front of the house. And it's an annual for us. We just, plant it every year. Christopher, I also think, tell me what you think about this. These are blue kazoo spireas. I think next spring we coppice them.
I want to cut them to the ground. I agree.
Yeah, and give them just a fresh recharge.
You know how sometimes when something's been pruned a couple times, on an evergreen, the undergrowth gets all spindly? I think that's what's happened. It's like all wood with just some leaves on top.
Yes.
We got to cut them.
I think it'll recharge them. We'll lose the blooms, which I'm okay with because look what happens. They bloom white and they look gorgeous, but then for the rest of the season, you kind of have this.
Like crispy fuzz.
Yeah, and I'm not so into that. So come on over here. Our fall containers are still happening. I mean, look at our roses.
The roses are in really good shape.
So this is our first year having roses on standard. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the dolly, believe it or not, we're getting a spot together in the garage and we're gonna line up all 3 of these in the garage. So what that means is we have to forfeit winter greens and stuff all winter long in here, but I think it'll be worth it to protect the rose.
I think it's worth it. The rose needs the protection from the wind. It's going in, but also we're gonna get one last mega flush of gorgeous cardinal roses.
It's amazing how much roses enjoy the fall.
Although you might be tempted to prune your boxwoods right now that are looking a little mangy like this one, don't do it now. Any of your evergreens, especially broadleaf evergreens, not a good time going into the winter to do any pruning. Just enjoy them and take care of it in the spring. I love this pinky rose color coming on these Let's Dance Can Do hydrangeas. What a pretty color that is for fall. Another thing for the to-do list, Eric, we've got some weeds coming in along the edges.
Unbeweedable.
Unbeweedable. You want to get those out now, not because they're not going to die back on its surface, but they're not going to die back underground all the time. So get them taken care of now. They won't be a problem so much in the springtime. I also am thinking about adding some more of this dressed up evening gown heuchera as a little rounded hedge here. I think it'd be a nice dark accent behind these anemones, with the rose that it already looks good in front of. I think it'd be a nice little swoop.
I think that'll be pretty.
I feel like a nice tidy, ruffly purple leaf edge would be great. Another highlight I cannot get over, Bloomerang Dwarf Pink Lilac. We have a lilac blooming and we just had our first frost. It smells really good. It's beautiful. I think this is such a funny little shrub. It has been reblooming consistently through the season. I'm a little shocked that I'm not seeing a speck of fall color yet on our Wabi Sabi Japanese maple. This is pretty. I'm hoping by our full October tour at the end of the month that we've got some good color on here.
I hope so too. There'll be a lot of annuals missing in that tour, I can tell you that much.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole different thing. Oh, right over here, Eric, check this. We will be covering our big leaf hydrangeas, but we will show you that later on in the season, just so that we protect them, protect all of their little ready to go buds, because they're already starting along the way on the plant. Thankfully, these are remontant. They will rebloom just in case we don't get those early blooms, but we are greedy for the color. So we'll cover them and protect them and hopefully get that early color coming in. Some more big weeds. Check that out.
Oh my gosh, those weeds are so embarrassing.
I love it. I like the big weeds. It's a badge of honor.
But you know what? This is that thistle that spreads by rhizome, and oh, they got so big. That's gonna be a beast to get out.
I feel like it's easier when they get bigger to pull, though. They don't rip right out of the ground. Or they rip out of the ground. They don't snap when you pull them.
Oh, we'll see. Once we get all this stuff out of the way, we'll see what happens.
Another big job for the to-do list will be taking care of my dahlias. This is my number 6 dahlia that I love so much that I grew from seed last year. I will be saving these tubers in 2 weeks. I set a note in the calendar 2 weeks after the first frost, when they start to blacken and get that yucky dahlia look. That's when I will cut them to the ground, dig up the tubers, do my divisions, and I promised a couple of friends I would send them some for themselves next year. And also, where am I gonna grow cut flowers?
I don't know.
We have to figure this out.
Yes, we thought about using the elevated beds, but they're too high.
Yeah, I would really need that step stool.
And I don't think there's enough soil reservoir for cut flowers in there.
No, actually, we would have to get like a whole lovely step stool situation, because these would be so high. They're 8
it would have to be
tall.
A very chic step stool.
I want to give some love to the Pickety Pink Gora. I'm calling this my landscape annual of the year. It has blown me away. Its performance, consistency, its prettiness. I don't really care for it in containers, but I love it in the landscape. I will absolutely gladly have that repeated in the garden. Do you think you have a favorite landscape annual this year?
Well, mine's always Verbena bonariensis.
Okay, there we go. So the garden's looking really good. Some work to be done, but at least we've got our to-do list together.
If you want to see how the season started, check out our full May garden tour right here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.